Good afternoon. Welcome to Bar Louie as we do our first of many video shoots here. Brad Bourke, defenseman from the Evansville Thunderbolts, is joining us. And Brad, 2 goals, 5 assists on the season. Not only are you tied with the team lead in points, but also the league for defensemen. Pretty good season so far. You talk about the season.
It's been okay so far. Offensively, obviously nice to chip in a little bit. We've had our struggles, obviously getting some wins. So like for right now, we're just trying to buy into a system. We've got new players in, and focusing on trying to get more wins than obviously losses. So that's kind of been the gist so far.
We've watched you through 14 games now on the season. Real solid defensively, but one of the things that really has impressed is your ability to jump up in the play. And I play in the beer league here in Evansville. I'm sure you follow my stats like I follow your stats. But I've got a lot of minuses, and usually when I get that puck and I start rushing up the ice, you can hear my own bench say, "Oh no, don't do it." So not a lot of encouragement for me, but talk a little bit about your vision on the ice and jumping up into that play, because you've been able to do it and get back defensively as well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of been a niche for myself, and I've kind of worked on that side. I played a bit of forward growing up, and then moving back to defense. So it's kind of been an 8-year process, and I've had that reputation of wearing lots of minuses, whether it's beer league or any professional hockey. So when we get Mike up here, he'll tell you a little bit about my bad defensive play.
All right.
So anyways, yeah, no, it's I guess like I said, trying to jump in offensively to help out the boys up front, and trying to find those lanes, trying to get pucks through. But basically, as simple as that, if a guy can do it.
Yeah.
Now, Brad, you talked about the team starting to get those first couple wins. You had a good road trip, got your first 2 wins of the season. You're playing with a bit of a new group, a lot of turnover from the original roster. Do you guys feel like you're starting to turn a corner, and things are going to be happy from here on out?
Yeah, for sure. I think we've got 5 of the last 5 of 8 points, I believe, of late. And like I said, it's kind of all about sticking to the system and buying in, right? We've got a lot of new guys in, so it takes a little bit of time, guys, getting used to tendencies, etc., right? So we've been working on getting pucks behind the D-men, little things like that, chipping pucks better. So it's going to take, maybe you might see another week or so before the guys are really clicking. But I think we're happy with the group that we have, and we're trying to buy in what Coach Pyle is trying to send his message, what we're trying to do. So it's been good of late.
Okay. So talking about happy with the group that you have, Thanksgiving every year, the Ford Center hosts the circus that puts the hockey team on the road. So you guys have done 5-game road trip. This will be your longest road trip of the season. Tell us some travel horror stories, not necessarily with this team, but in the past, and what's it like on the travel, on the bus? Because usually guys they kind of hang out with the same guys on the bus, and they bunk with the same guys and hang out with the same guys. So kind of tell us a little bit about the Thunderbolts bus and maybe some horror stories from the past.
Yeah, we've been pretty lucky this year with Mike Hall. He's a great owner, and we've been able to leave a day early, which is sometimes teams, especially early in the season, might try to cheap out a little bit and maybe wait later on during the year. So Mike has been really good to the boys on that side of things. This last trip we took a charter. We had there was a couple buses we used, and one was apparently broken down. So that was a little bit, sometimes on the long ones when you're traveling charter wise, it can be a little bit annoying, let's say, right? Where you can, if that was to break down, then you'd really be struggling.
Yeah.
But honestly, as far as sometimes it's nice when a team is struggling a little bit or trying to get to used to all the boys, let's say. It's nice to be on the road, get to hang out with guys. We had a 1 day off there. We got to go karting and did some childish things that guys like to do when you're 12, 13, which was kind of cool. But it's nice to be on the road. It's nice to be on the road with the boys, and it was a good trip. We're looking forward to Peoria this weekend, and then obviously back to playing some home games again the following weekend.
Horror stories from teams growing up?
Horror stories, we had one last year in Louisiana where our bus broke down, and we weren't sure if we were going to play in Pensacola. Showed up, they delayed the game an hour and showed up probably about 25 minutes before the game started. It was a bit of a guys didn't know what was going on, right? But had a good rest anyway. We were rested up, just I think we ended up losing 5-1 or something, so it wasn't for the best.
Well, and a lot of times too, we've been asking guys, and doing short little videos about superstitions, and a lot of guys say that, well, I don't have a superstition, but I have a pregame ritual that I have to follow, and that's what happens is you show up to an arena now 25 minutes before game time, they want you on the ice for the pregame warm-up, and everyone's rituals are thrown off.
100%. Yeah, no, that makes sense, exactly. Guys are pretty superstitious and want things to be, be a process, same thing every day kind of thing, right? So it doesn't always work that way, but when it, more times than not, it has. And Mike has done a really good job with us this year, and we've had every opportunity to succeed.
So we were just talking about road trip horror stories. What's the funniest road trip story you got? Clean for the camera, though.
Yeah, put me on the spot a little bit. That's a good question. I think would go back to our story from last year in Louisiana. I'd have to think like back to when we were kids. I'm sure we had some times where we would, we'd show up to games like, with your couple buddies or whatever. You'd show up right at game time, and your dad wouldn't be too happy with you, right? When we were kind of 14, 15, 16, let's say, one guy's got his license, right? We'd show up right at game time, and might have to sit or something. But been pretty lucky over the years. We actually had one in college. We had kind of got into an accident. The bus kind of went sideways on the highway and hit a sign and knocked out about 4 panes of glass on the charter, which was pretty scary. But everyone was healthy, and we were able to move on from it. So no, we've been pretty lucky over the years as far as travel. It's been pretty good.
All right, so at the beginning of the season, I used Google pronunciation here. Onaway, Alberta? Is that the hometown?
Onaway, Alberta.
Onaway, Alberta. So does that make you a Flames fan, or does that make you an Oiler fan?
Definitely not a Flames fan.
Okay.
Can't stand the Flames.
I know there's that division between both camps.
That's
right along the Red Mile. So
that's right. Yeah, we're just north of Edmonton, about an hour, kind of on the Jasper Grand Prairie Highway, heading out that way. So we're diehard Oiler fans out there, right?
And gotta like Connor McDavid, the way the team's been playing. Favorite Oiler growing up? Favorite Oiler now?
Favorite Oiler now definitely is McDavid. I would tell everyone he's the best player in the world. Just he's playing on my team, right? Back in the day, I liked Dougie Wade, Mark Messier, and Gretzky when those guys were back in the '80s. Were obviously pretty good. Didn't really get to watch them, right? But my old man was a big fan. So yeah, I've been a diehard fan since I was one. Good.
You talked about, your favorite player growing up. Who was the best player you ever actually played with? Whether that's most skill, most goals,
right.
So on.
The best player I probably played with, I played with a kid in college. His name was Torrey Dick. He was a Saskatchewan boy. Played for the University of Alberta Golden Bears after. He had a couple A coast deals when he never did go. But I just thought he was a very good leader. I really learned a lot, about style of play and just about leadership from him. So he was probably the best I would say that I ever played with, in college. So.
You played 4 years of college with Augustana University, 140 games played, 27 goals, 66 assists. You average 66 points per game, so you've always kind of had that offensive flair around the net. Tell us a little bit about playing college hockey.
Yeah, no, it was good. I think college, whether you're playing in the States or in CIS or ours was an Alberta College League. There, it's all kind of the same. Obviously, the lifestyle of college hockey is a lot of fun. Whether you're going class and the social side, and then obviously getting to practice every day, and you still feel kind of like you're there for hockey, right? So the friendships you meet, I find over 4 or 5 years. And for myself, it took me 5 years. For Canadian varsity, you have, and just like some of the friends I met over that 5-year time will be my some of my better friends that I'll hopefully be in touch with until I'm 70, right? So no, that was the best thing I found about college hockey was the hockey only gets a guy so far, and you can only play for so long, but the friends you meet over those times you just can't replace it.
And then talk to us a little bit about the Louisiana experience. A little bit disappointing that they had to close their doors in the SPHL. Who knows whether they'll come back or not. It would be great for the league if they did, but just talk a little bit about playing down in Louisiana.
Yeah, it was definitely different. Just the humidity, right, for a Canadian kid to go down there. I only think I packed one pair of shorts, so I was battling pretty hard the first couple months, right? But going from their practice practice facility to the to the big rink. We played at the Cajun Dome, which people got a pretty kick. Kind of a hilarious name. But I mean, yeah, as far as playing, like the fans were pretty good. They had a good booster club, similar to what we have here. Very fortunate to have, and it was still fun playing on the road lots. But we had a fun group of guys, which is important. And playing in the heat, you show up to the game and it's plus 28 out for us, or plus 80, I'd say Fahrenheit. Right? It was what more could you ask for?
Yep. So we talked about Louisiana, and your next stop being Evansville, and you've been here for about 2 months now. What do you think of the city of Evansville?
It's been pretty good. Like I said, we haven't got to go out a whole bunch as a team, let's say, doing team functions. But as far as our ownership, our coaching staff, stuff that we'd see every day, right? The practice facility, our game facility, you couldn't. It's been great. I think it's one of the best in the league. And I find if the boys are happy and happy with the coach and the ownership is great, treating the boys fairly, it's a good place. It doesn't we could be in Timbuktu and it would be good, right?
No doubt about it. Like we always say, no matter how bad it gets, we're still working in hockey.
Exactly. There's a lot worse things out there in life for sure. Happy to be here. Yeah.
You got anything else? Because I just have the game set up next.
Nope, you can go on ahead.
All right. Are you prepared for the game?
I guess so. Ready or not, hey?
Yep. So, Tim, this is where you want to put the graphic in. How well do you know you? And again, disclaimer, we'll say this every time. This is not to make fun of you or any of the players or anything like that. This is to prove that any knucklehead with 15 minutes and the internet can find all kinds of facts and or trivial anecdotes and a lot of incorrect things on the internet. So that's what this is all about. So our first question, you played for the St. Albert's Raiders in the AMHL. You played for the St. Albert Steel in the AJHL, the Midget Hockey League and the Junior Hockey League of Alberta. Which one did you have the most penalty minutes in? With the Raiders or with the Steel?
I would say with the Steel.
That is correct. 69 penalty minutes with the Steel, 44 with the Raiders, and then your freshman year you had 58 penalty minutes as well. So I guess that begs to ask, was that like, do you have to get yourself noticed through those penalty minutes, or were you just kind of an angry youth at the time?
You guys have seen me play. Like I'm pretty soft out there. Sometimes you wonder how they let me on the ice playing that soft. Yeah, no, I can't really explain the penalty minutes. I think there was a couple 10 minutes in there, which they used to kind of hand out. They kind of hand out willingly if there was scrums, let's say.
Yeah.
So I think I probably only had about 4 or 5 minors in there. So I was still,
threw some bonus 10s in there for you.
I was still soft as butter back then too. Yeah.
All right, the question everyone wants to know: what is your birth date?
April 21st, 1989.
1989, that is correct. We would have also accepted June 5th, 1986.
Right.
So either one of those.
Yeah.
So the University of Alberta,
Augustana.
Augustana.
So
When was it founded? 1890, 1908, 1922, or 1932?
I'm going to say 1932.
That is incorrect.
Perfect.
It was 1908.
There you go.
So, your university, it was ranked by the QS World University Rankings. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I have not heard of it.
They ranked the English and Language and Literature Department as one of the best in the world. Were they number 1 in the world, 22nd in the world, 39th in the world, or 100th in the world? And I'll give you a little hint. We're doing a video with Mike Radissa after this. It is his number. His jersey number.
Oh my God, you're putting me on the spot.
1, 22, 39, or 100?
Well, I know it's 22, I believe, is their only option.
Yes, that is correct. What were your university's colors? Green and yellow, yellow and black, green and purple, or red, white, and blue?
Red, white, and black. Is that a trick question?
No.
No? Okay, I don't think there's any blue in there, but maybe there was.
So, green and yellow, yellow and black, green and purple, or red, white, and blue?
Last option.
Red, white, and blue? That is incorrect according to Wikipedia. Your school colors were green and yellow.
That is false. I'll take that to the grave.
Not
5
according.
years.
That's why we
I'll
said
take- yeah.
the internet. Tell us, what did you major in university?
I majored in economics, so I got a business degree.
This musical instrument was erected in memory of the 80 university college students that died in World War I on the campus. Is it the War Memorial Pipe Organ? Is it the Violin of Peace? Or is it the Tuba of Triumph?
I'm going to pick A.
Yes.
Take option A.
The pipe organ.
There you go. Shot in the dark.
There you go. All right. Onaway, Alberta. It is located at the junction of two highways. Highway 43 and which of these highways? 34, 37, 39, or 40?
37.
37 is correct. All right, you're doing a lot better than Justin McDonald. He struggled 2 weeks ago. All right, so there are annual events in Onaway that I guess the whole community is proud of. Which one of these is not an annual Onaway event? The Fall Festival, the Onaway Heritage Days, the Night of Artists, or the Threshing Bee?
The first option.
Fall Festival, that is correct. That is in Evansville. What is a threshing bee? Is that like a spelling bee?
Threshing bee, my mom actually runs.
Oh, really?
So
Tell us about it.
A threshing bee, I believe, was like, I think back in the olden days, how they used to, let's say produce milk and stuff. Like they would do kind of old style things from like say the 30s and 40s. And my mom was kind of in charge of that, so that's the only reason I kind of know
Nice.
that one. Yeah, pretty lucky.
2 more questions left. Onaway became a village with 100 people in what year? 1850, 1880, 1900, or 1923?
I'm gonna say 1923.
That is correct. Knows his history. And last question, the name of the Onaway monthly newsletter that is delivered to all Onaway people with their utility bills. Is it called the Onawaves, Onaway Today, or Onaway You Want It?
I'm gonna have to say on the way today.
It is Onawaves.
Oh my god. No idea.
Brad Bourke, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys.
We are here at Bar Louie.